2 to 3 days. So they'd go prior and then return after. So expenses to do the transporting all these members of parliament and the staff, and then per diem, because members and staff have got to find accommodation and so on and so forth, and all the other logistical elements, because different activities will be happening. And that explains the about 5 billion shillings to be spent on each sitting. We are asking, is this justifiable that you get to spend such an amount of money to have a sitting of parliament? Because what do the people really want? If it is Gulu, if it is Mbale, if it is Mbarara, if it is Luwero, for example, what do those people really want? Do they want parliament to just go and sit in a particular place? That now we are sitting in Gulu or we are sitting in Mbale, and then we leave thereafter. What the people want is whatever we get to sit, especially here, which is designated for us to sit, and you won't have any extra expenses incurred because we are already paid and all the logistics are here, that you sit and deliberate on matters that are of concern to the people, so that ultimately they get to have services. That's what the people want. So it does not make so much sense to say you're going to transport the entire parliament and have a sitting there and then spend a lot of money, which money could do several things. In Gulu, for example, which is the first place for the regional sittings, I'm sure if you were to ask the ordinary person in Gulu that this 5 billion shillings, which is going to bring MPs and staff, what would you want it to do? Maybe they will be more interested in medicine in Gulu Regional Referral Hospital. They might be more interested in infrastructure being worked on. The same situation for Mbarara, for Mbale, and so on and so forth, as opposed to spending all of this money to transport everybody, MPs, including, of course, ministers, and so on and so forth. Because, again, for a sitting of parliament, the way it normally happens, as you see it, if there are to be any invited guests, maybe LC5 chairperson and a few local leaders, they will be in the gallery. And they are not even participating in the proceedings of the sitting of parliament, because it will be a sitting of parliament. So then what's the real rationale of saying you want us to go and meet in a particular region? Meet here in parliament and take care of the concerns of the people. And that's why we are bothered. That number one, all of these things are happening secretively. We don't know. The commission is not sitting to discuss these matters. So even I, who leads one side of parliament, I do not have any idea what's happening. It clearly shows you that there is a lot more than meets the eye. And when you hear the figures that are going to be spent, it could even be a lot higher than this. And that's why, as you hear some sections of the public saying, maybe this is another ploy to account for money that is being stolen. All of these things the public are speaking. And so we are saying our participation is difficult to justify. We have committees of parliament, and these committees go out and work on behalf of parliament. Why don't we empower committees? Many times committees complain they are not able to go out to the field, because that should be the work of committees, that now go to this area, interact with the people, establish the issues and concerns, bring a report to parliament. Here we discuss it all together. Why don't we empower committees? And that's what I have always been telling the leadership of parliament, as opposed to doing it this way. We have got many challenges which people will not understand. Medical interns, for example, are protesting because they are not being deployed. Only a small group are being deployed. And the Ministry of Health is saying the reason we can't deploy all of them is because we don't have resources. Give us more money and we shall deploy all of them. Police officers are complaining and they're saying we were promised a pay rise, but they're saying we have been duped. We are only getting a very small fraction of that which was promised. Where is the other money that was promised to us? And so on and so forth. Poor service delivery issues, which the general public is concerned about. Will they understand us as parliament when we are spending 5 billion shillings to go to Gulu, to go to Mbale, to go to Mbarara, and in Central Region, they will not understand because it does not make sense at all. It is wastage. So as Shadow Cabinet, we have elected that it is problematic for we in the opposition to be part of such an arrangement because, number one, we have not been brought on board. We are kept in the dark. Things are being done very quietly. We do not know. And then number two, this expenditure is difficult for us to explain to the public, to even the people we represent, to tell them that, you see now, Parliament, which normally sits here where the chambers are, is going to be transported to another region, to another district, to sit, just to sit. And then we come back. And for that sitting, 5 billion shillings is going to be spent. We cannot explain that to our constituents. It is total wastage. And so we are saying, for this which does not make logical, financial sense, it is a problem. We don't want to be part of issues that are of concern. You see, the general public has been bashing Parliament, and rightly so, because they hear the theft, grand theft that happens in this institution, in different offices, beginning with the top office in this institution. And then you come out and you're doing such a thing, which is not explainable at all. It doesn't make sense. Now look, there might be some people who would be excited that all members of Parliament have come to meet in Mbarara, in our area, in Mbale, in Gulu, or wherever else. Some people might be excited. But beyond the excitement, then what? Are we not able to sit here and deliberate on issues that are of concern to northern Uganda, to eastern Uganda, to western Uganda, to central Uganda, and then push through to make sure those matters are addressed as opposed to this issue? So that's why we are making it clear to all and sundry, we don't want to be part of this unexplained process, which we have not been involved in, but also which is a very clear wastage and not justifiable at all. So we thought we should communicate this very critical issue because we understand the first sitting is going to be towards end of this month. That will be in Gulu. Then there will be another in Mbarara. There will be another in Mbale, and then Central Region. And we would like for the people to understand, because some people might say, but you're members of Parliament, why don't you go and sit and deliberate on behalf of the people that you represent? That's what we want to do. That's what we are here to do. But we are saying this is beyond just representation. It is wastage. We already have a place where we sit at no cost because it is here. So this does not make economic sense even to the people out there. So wanted it to be clear to the public so that when they don't see us in Gulu, in Mbarara, in Mbale, it's not because we are just boycotting activities of Parliament. We are saying this is wrong. I've written to the Speaker several times, and I've discussed this even in the public, about commission meetings, for example. We should be discussing these matters. Because if I had sat in a meeting that made this decision, I would say, look, instead of spending 5 billion shillings per sitting, let's meet here. And then we push for the allocation of money for some of the concerns in these regions. That would have been my view. But I'm not invited for these meetings. And as I have since discovered, I am not the only one not invited to these meetings. The other day we had an engagement and the Prime Minister was also concerned. I was shocked that even her, she's not invited to commission meetings. She said, the Right Honourable Robin Anabanja, that she was last invited for a commission meeting in March of last year. Now, she's been part of the commission longer than myself. While me, I'm saying since January, meetings happen, I'm not invited. For her, she said she was last invited in March of last year. What are we hiding? Because the Prime Minister leads one side of Parliament, the leader of the opposition leads one side of Parliament. You're keeping us out of these engagements. What are you hiding? What are you trying to do that you don't want has to know. It's a problem, and I'll not stop talking about these issues, because some people might think, but why do you keep, talking about this issue, lamenting about it? Because it's important. I am a member of the commission, not by anyone's wish. I am there, duty bound, to play a role there as I was delegated to, and so it's important. And I really want to continuously make this clarion call that this institution of parliament should cease to operate like some informal little structure, like someone's kiosk, because it is not. And that's why we see decisions such as these ones being taken. Now let's go and meet here. We spend this amount of money. Now let's go and do this. Now let's, the other day we saw the speaker donate about 1 billion shillings to Nsambia Hospital. That was a good thing. How was that decision taken? How about Mulago? How about Chiruddu? How about Gulu Regional Referral Hospital? How about Mbarara Regional Referral Hospital? And so on and so forth. Whenever we are making allocations during the budget process, in our alternative budget, we were saying, look, can we focus more on healthcare? Can we focus more on education? But people were saying, no, let's give money to Rocco and all of these unexplainables. So that's the challenge when things begin to be run in a very informal way. And we are saying no to that informality. So we'll not keep quiet. We'll keep speaking. And we want the public to come on board so that this ceases to be just a matter of us as shadow cabinet, as the opposition, because it is your money. This 5 billion shillings that is to be spent for each of these sittings, it is your money. Speak out. And I'm glad of late you have seen young people speaking out. They were protesting the other day peacefully. Speak out. Because this is your money. Our duty is to inform you about what's happening. Because maybe if we don't inform you, you wouldn't know. And they'll tell you, no, this is just another normal sitting of parliament. No, you need to know how much is going to be spent on this normal sitting of parliament so that you speak out, because this is your money. Let me quickly translate what I have. No? Nga shadow cabinet tutera okutuula buli lwakubiri ne twogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo. Era olwaleero ezimu ku ze twogeddeko ne tugamba katubayite tuwayemuko nammwe. Muze muwulira nti parliament egenda kubeera n'entuula mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo. Okutandika ne Northern Uganda eggulu, then Western Uganda Mbarara, mu East Mbale ne wano mu Buganda. Ensonga eya parliament okutuukirira abantu nsonga nnungi. Ababaka okubanga tubeera mu bantu baffe ne tubawuliriza. Era bwe tumala okubawuliriza ensonga zaabwe ne tuziteesaako ne tukola ekisoboka kyonna okulaba nti ensonga ezo zikolebwako. Naye ensonga eno eya regional seatings ffe tugirabyemu obuzibu bungi. Tugamba okusookera ddala eno idea, ekirowoozo kino kyakkaanyizibwako kitya, meeting baani abaagirimu, kubanga ffe ng'abakulembeze tetubimanyiiko. Tubiwulira eyo nti waliwo zi meeting ezituula bangi, teams ezigenze nga zigenda mu bitundu ebyenjawulo okutegeka, naye ate nga tetubimanyiiko. Bijja bitya? Lwaki ebintu bino bikolebwa mu nkukutu? Ekirala ekyenkizo ku ntuula zino eza paalamenti ze baagala zibeere mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo, ze ssente zigenda okusaasaanyibwa ku buli lutuula. Kyetutegeddeko nti buli lutuula lugenda kusaasaanyizibwako obuwumbi 5 eza Uganda. Buli lutuula nti kaakati tuli Northern Uganda mu ggulu buwumbi 5. Bwe tunaagenda Embarara obulala 5. Bwe tunaagenda Embale obulala 5. Ne mu Central Region Luweero oba Masaka obulala 5. Kakati nga twebuuza sente zino really kyamagezi nnyo okuzisaasaanya bwe tutyo, kubanga wano tulina we tutuula. Bannayuganda ki kye baagala? Baagala nti we tunaatuula wonna tw'obuweereza kye baagala. Baagala ddagala malwaliro gaabwe, baagala amasomero g'abaana baabwe nga gakola, baagala enguudo, baagala buweereza service delivery. Naye kati bw'ogamba nti tugenda kukwata ababaka bonna 529 n'abakozi n'ebirala byonna byonna, of course baminisita n'abalala, tikakati parliament tugenze tuli Mbarara, tugenze tuli Gulu, olina batransportinga bonna bonna, balina okufuna pa DM kubanga kumalayo kumpi wiiki namba, balina okubeera naawe okusula ne logistics endala zonna. Ku lwaki Munnayuganda oyo ali Mbarara, ali Gulu, ali Mbale abafunyemu, kubanga tuba tusaasanyiza obumbi 5 titugenze Gulu. Naye bw'obuuza omuntu ali Gulu ajja kugamba nze kyenjagala ddagala mu Gulu Regional Referral Hospital. Ow'Embarara ajja kugamba kyekimu, tufite okusaasanya sente ezo, twagala sente ezo zigule eddagala mu ddwaliro lyaffe, zikole ku nguudo zaffe n'obuweereza obulala kyebaagala. Naye ate kakati ffe tusazeyo nti kati parliament yonna gye tujja okutransportinga tugende tuteesezeeyo tukomewo. Ate nga ne bwe tugenda ne tuteesezaayo lusigala lutuula lwa parliament. Mu parliament ababaka bokka be bateesa. So kati ne bwe tunaabeera mu kitundu katugambe tuli Gulu, yes bayinza okuyita LC5 chairperson, maybe ne bakansala abatonotono bajja kubeera wali mu gallery, tebakkirizibwa na kuteesa mu parliament. Kakati kye tuba tukoze kyeki tekitegeerekeka n'okirowoozaako logically tekikola nnyo makulu. Of course waliwo abantu abayinza okusanyuka ne bakyamuukiriramuko nti ababaka bonna bazze mu kitundu kyaffe, bazze Gulu, bazze Mbarara, bazze Mbale, bazze wa. Naye nga tuvudde mu kukyamuukirira omuntu oyo ekinyusi kiriwa, abantu bafunyeemu ki exactly? Abaffe tetusobola kutuula wano mu setteeserezo yaffe wano mu plenary chambers ne tuteesa ku nsonga ezikwata ku bali Gulu, ku bali Mbale, ku bali Mbarara, ku bali Luweero, Masaka wa. Parliament yonna erina kugendayo. Kugamba biraba nga tebitegeerekeka. Abantu bazze mulugunya ku parliament eno, obubbi, okwonoona ssente y'omusolo, obugenda mu maaso mu kizimbe kyaffe kino, okutandikira ddala mu ofiisi ey'oku Ntiko mu kizimbe kino. Era muzze mubalaba abavubuka nga beekalakaasa mirembe. Kaakati bwe beekalakaasa ku ekyo n'osalawo nti mwe bye mugamba tebirina makulu, katubalage nti tujja zoonoonera ddala bumbi 5 buli lutuula gye tugenda okutuula. Ne bazifunamu, ne bakifunamu ki? Tulina committees eza parliament. Committees zino zitera n'okwemulugunya ensangi zino, teziyambiddwa kimala kugenda mu bitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo okulondoola kino okulondoola kiri, kubanga komiti ezo ze tulina okwempoweringa ne zigenda ne zoogera n'abantu eyo kye tulina okukola. So sigamba nti parliament yonna tugisitule tugende tugiteeke wali tutuule mu woteeri gye tunaabeeramu, oluva mu woteeri tuveeyo tukomewo eno e Kampala. Kati abantu beeyo okuggyako okwonoona ssente ezo obumbi 5 baba baganyuddwamu ki? Muzze mulaba abasawo abaakamala okusoma baagala ogenda okukola internship, babadde beekalakaasa mirembe. Minisitule y'ebyobulamu egamba ffe tetulina buzibu naye ssente tezimala ezaatuweebwa. Kati oyo intaani onoomunnyonnyola otya nti tewali ssente ng'oli mukozesa obumbi 5 okugenda n'otuula mu region emu, n'okozesa obumbi bulala 5 okugenda awalala obulala 5, omunnyonnyola otya n'akitegeera? Abasirikale bali mu kwemulugunya, baasubizibwa ssente okwongezebwako ne bagamba baabafera kye baabasuubiza si kye bafunye. Era ne bwe bakubira bannamawulire, kuba naffe batukubira amasimu nti naye banne ze baatusuubiza nga si ze tufunye. Kati omusirikale oyo n'omunnyonnyola otya nti tewali ssente? Oba omusomesa onoomunnyonnyola otya nti tewali ssente ng'ate balaba tuli mu kuzikozesa mu kuzoonoona mu ngeri etategeerekeka? Ye abaffe abantu abalaba obubbi obugenda mu maaso obannyonnyola otya nti kino tekiri mu kukozesebwa oba oliawo okubbiramu ssente? Kubanga byonna bikolebwa mu nkukutu. Ffe ng'abakulembeze tebatuinvolvinze, tetumanyi kikigenda mu maaso. Meetings zituleeyo mu nkukutu, committees weeziri, era abantu bazze bagenda mu bitundu bino ebyenjawulo okutegeka naki, naye kati ffe nga tetumanyiiko. Nze nkyogerako nti commission meetings ezirina okuteesa ku bintu bino n'okubiyisa kubanga birina ssente ezeetaagibwa tetumanyi ddi wezituula. Juzi twali mu meeting y'emu Oweekitiibwa Nabbanja Prime Minister naye neemulugunya n'agamba nze nasemba okuyitibwa mu commission meeting March omwaka oguwedde. Neewuunya kubanga abamu nze bwe mbyogerako bagamba Ssenyonyi oyogera nnyo naye munaye Nabbanja lwakubanga ye atya okwogera ennyo n'atugamba mu meeting yali ennene nnyo kinange mu commission meetings tebampita simanyi lwaki. Kati kikulaga nti waliwo bannaffe abamu naddala omukulembeze waffe wano ku parliament alina byakweka. Lwaki weeyisa bwotyo mu nkukutu bw'oba tolina kyokweka? Lwaki tutuyita mu meeting ffenna abalina okuzibeeramu bwe ba commission meeting twogere ku nsonga zino kubanga ze singa nali mu meeting eyo eyayisa kino naligambye nti abaayi nedda kino abantu tebajja kitegeera nti tugenda kusaasaanya obuvumbi 5 ku buli region gye tugendamu. Tutuule wano we tulina setteeserezo yaffe tuteese ku nsonga eziruma abantu baffe. Sente zino tuzikyanulinge zigende zibayambe ku ebyo ebintu ebyo bye beetaaga mu buweereza. Naye of course tebatuyita kati omuntu alowooza nti bino babikola mu nkukutu either babbiremu ssente oba ki toyinza kumunenya kubanga oba okikola mu butuufu bwakyo. Lwaki okikola mu nkukutu? Lwaki okitukweka ffe abakulembeze nga tetumanyi bintu bino? So ffe nga shadow cabinet tugamba nti ng'aba opposition kituzibuwalira okwetaba mu ntuula zino kubanga abantu baffe tetuyinza kubannyonnyola ne bakitegeera. Togenda munnyonnyola nti twagenze eggulu ne tusaasaanya obuwumbi 5 twagenze embaale n'obulala 5 tugenda embaala obulala 5 tugenda Luweero oba Masaka obulala 5 n'omunnyonnyola nti 5 obwo bwasaasaanyiddwa okuyamba ggwe tajja kitegeera kubanga ye kyayagala nga bwe ŋŋamba ayagala ddagala mu ddwaliro agala enguudo ezikola agala amasomero agakola ku lw'abaana baabwe baagala buweereza service delivery. So nga tugamba tetuyinza kwetaba mu kintu kye tusasobola kunnyonnyola bantu tebajja kitegeera kubanga naffe tetukitegeera. Twalyagadde ebintu ebikolebwa sookerera bireme kubeera mu nkukutu birebeere birambulukufu naffe tuwe endowooza yaffe nga tugamba nti nedda kino kiba kikyamu tutuule wano tuteese ku nsonga eziruma bannayuganda bonna. Mwebale nnyo.
Because Parliament spends close to 6 billion every year in sports, and the opposition has never shied that event. People go play sports there, here they win titles, but the country does not benefit from that activity. But this is an activity that has been ongoing where the taxpayer loses a lot of money. Some people even pick that money and they don't go for sports. I've seen it. Members here, members of Parliament pick the money, they don't go, they go there, spend one day, they come back to Kampala. And money is lost. And opposition has been participating actively in these activities. So, which scale do you use to determine what is evil and what is right? Because going out to the public, are you fearing to meet the people? Those are the people who elected you. Why don't you go once in a while and interact with them? Why is it good to go to Mombasa and play with parliamentarians there, and it is bad to go and meet the people of Guru? The other issue I wanted to understand, because last time you did the same, you boycotted the State of the Nation address. Last week you saw you responding to the same. Really, that is double standard. Because if you shy, if you don't want to listen to Museveni, please don't listen to him, and don't respond to what he's saying. Because if you don't, you boycott, and the next day we see you with files responding to something you didn't hear. Really, we were so disappointed last week.
Thank you. Maybe that should be the last one, so that other people ask as well.
Let me wrap it like this: that we have had issues of parliament building. That parliament cannot accommodate all of you, and that thing is not anywhere an opposition agenda. The building has told you there. I don't know. It was supposed to be completed in 2022. 3 years later, stuck, stored. Nothing is happening there. I hear every day you hear people knocking to create an impression that the building is on. Maybe Parliament is because people can't fit there. It can be a reason as to why people are going to Kaunda grounds to sit there. So as Parliament, and that's the opposition, which is not the chief opposition, like especially the opposition you lead, which is not so popular in that region. When you use the scale of the number of MPs where they come from, why do you lose on this opportunity to engage the people of northern Uganda? Why do you leave them for NRM? Because you know how the locals get excited when they see big people around them. Why do you lose that excitement? Because you are creating an impression that in Kampala you are legislating miracles. So, because no, there's no miracle here. Why do you lose that opportunity of excitement? Look, why don't you tap into that excitement? Thank you.